Tony D and Little Joan and my guest dog in the background. And this is a screenwriter's rant on Paradise City, starring John Travolta and Bruce Willis. So, yes, another one of the last of the Bruce Willis movies. Um, Basically, I think it's about bounty hunters. Yeah, it's about bounty hunters. Bruce Willis is like the old bounty hunter, and Travolta is the bad guy. But is this movie watchable? There was so many rumors I heard about this movie. Some of you were commenting in the comments, um, that this is just awful and they shouldn't have made it. And I think there's going to be 3 movies of this. I don't know. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's what? It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 9. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. An announcement about 10, hopefully this week. Okay. So, first, I don't have any new information about the rumors about this movie other than I heard pretty much what everybody else heard, that Bruce was starting to lose it by the time they were shooting this movie. And he was in pretty rough shape, and he kind of sort of barely got through this. So I don't know if they're using the AI for this at all, or I think this was before that. I think maybe shot during the pandemic or right after. But I mean, the reality is Bruce was getting long in the tooth to play an action role anyway. He's getting old. John Travolta, I think, can be good in a movie, but I think as a gangster, other than Pulp Fiction, he hasn't been great, because he strikes me as an actor who, if you give him too much leash, he's gonna just chew up the scenery. Now, some actors kind of thrive under that. Excuse me. So you look at Pulp Fiction, it's him and Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson kind of does the same shtick almost every time, but he's good at it, right? He's got that down pat. He says MF or whatever. And I mean, I'm getting sick of it, but at least if he was in a role like this, you'd believe it, I think. I think with John Travolta, starting with movies like Face Off and The Punisher, he started playing these gangster roles and just started chewing the scenery like crazy. Just really, I feel, too big and not subtle at all. Like, the Vega character from Pulp Fiction was subtle, and he played off Samuel L. Jackson's like bigger character. These other sort of B movie characters he's been doing of late, I feel like they're too big, and he's going too large with them, and he should scale it back. Now this, in the trailer at least, it looks like he scaled it back a little bit, but he still doesn't feel like a gangster. He feels like a movie star playing a gangster to me. That being said, the trailer's not bad. I mean, it's not bad because, although Bruce Willis is in it, he doesn't appear to be the focus. Travolta appears to get a lot of screen time, and 2 younger protagonists. This guy looks like Steven Dorff, but I don't think it was him. I don't think it's him. I think they would have mentioned him. Maybe it is, and then this hot chick is in it, so it looks like more of a standard sort of almost '90s movie with action in it. And there's one guy who looks like Dave Bautista, but I don't think it's him. No, I think he's just a big guy. So the premise is they're trying to get Bruce Willis has been trying to land the biggest bounty of all time, John Travolta. He's been at it for 10 years, and then he gets into trouble. So here, directed by Chuck Russell, not Kurt Russell, I almost said. Written by Corey Large, Edward Drake, and Chuck Russell. And here they are in a final showdown. So, I'm not sure who he's got hostage, maybe his grandson or his son. So, Bruce Willis doesn't look awful in the trailer. And even as much as like I'm worried about John Travolta going too far in this, and he seems like he's just coming up to that line, he looks okay. It all looks okay. The entire trailer looks okay, pretty watchable. Um, let's see. Executive producers: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I don't know. The names kind of run together. I think it's about 15 executive producers. It doesn't look bad. But some of you in the comments had said, oh, God, this is going to be a train wreck. I mean, it's got action in it. It's got gangsters. It's got beautiful women. Here's Bruce Willis saving the beautiful girl with the young protagonist. I swear to God, that looks like Steven Dorff, but I don't think it's him. Let's see. Let's see who that is. Paradise City. 2022. That is Steven Dorff. Oh. Huh. All right. That's another fairly decent-sized name. I mean, it's not as big as Bruce Willis and John Travolta, but geez, put him in the damn credits, will you? Blake Jenner is the other guy. Is he related to, like, Kris Jenner and all those people? Anybody else in here I know? No. I don't know the rest of them. But, I mean, it looks like an okay movie. You know? I'm not seeing, like, you know, obviously they wouldn't put in a scene that would be so unwatchable that, you know, you'd have to, yeah, I guess that is him. He looks great. Doesn't Steven Dorff look good in that? I just saw him in that Western, and he looked older and more grizzled. In this, he looks a little younger. I mean, not like he's a young guy, but, you know. So he's a bounty hunter, too, so they got all these bounty hunters. Okay. I don't know, man. The stunts look cool. It looks like the action's good. Now, again, maybe this is just a nicely cut trailer. Some of you are saying this is not a good movie, but, I mean, it's a little convoluted. It sounds like the plot, and at the same time, it's not really showing us much detail other than lots of action and boobs. But that's okay by me. At least there's something entertaining in it. Like, even if the movie doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, there's action scenes and boobies, so it's not exactly a waste of time. First act, he's been chasing John Travolta for 10 years, and he's got some new evil plan, I don't know, to distribute meth in Hawaii. And now, you know, he's from the Midwest. I mean, I guess they needed an explanation of why John Travolta is not like, you know, a member of the cartel and Mexican. And instead, he's a big-time drug dealer, but he's white, so they say he's from the Midwest. I mean, at least that's addressing, you know, the obvious actor thing. Rather than him, you know, putting makeup on him and trying to pass him off as, I don't know, some Mexican cartel member, which I think would be a mistake with John Travolta. I don't think he could really pass to be Hispanic. I mean, maybe if he had makeup on and his hair was really dark, maybe. Anyhow, he also looks like he's gained some weight too, but he's got a good energy to him. I'll say that. A little too much energy, but I think he just has it under control. Steven Dorff is on point, absolutely on point. You know, he's in his prime in terms of acting. Seems effortless. He looks good. Bruce Willis, from what little they show you in the trailer, looks okay. Maybe he's got a little bit of the, you know, 100-yard stare, but for the most part, he seems okay. And I would assume if he was in rough shape during the shooting of this movie, they would give him less to do. They would focus more on Steven Dorff and the Jenner kid as the bounty hunters and Travolta, and just use Bruce Willis for absolute bare necessities. You know, I think there's a scene with him and Travolta. So it doesn't look bad. I mean, I'm not seeing how this sucks. There's lots of action. And, they show you a bunch of different scenes in different locations where action is happening. The only minor things in the trailer is Bruce looks like he's showing his age a little bit. So that's, if some long scenes happen, but still he still looks capable. Even though he's showing his age, he still looks capable. Until he says something, then maybe if it's a long scene, but if they give him enough short dialogue, maybe not. If they keep the focus away from him, or just capture him in a couple of moments. So, and apparently this is part of a larger franchise, or am I confusing that with the other Bruce Willis thing? But either way, I can't say this looks bad at all. I would watch this. Now, it's a bit old school. Feels a bit like 90s generic gangster film. But quite frankly, we haven't gotten a lot of those. I'd like something a little more traditional with hot chicks and hot outfits and guys shooting at each other and, big scenes with Travolta saying, I'm going to unleash my evil plan. Kill him. Steven Dorff seems to have some moves. Here's a guy jumping out of a window. I don't see the downside here. But, so there is a possibility that you have a good movie, but you cut a bad trailer. That doesn't sell the movie, and it turns out the movie's great. But then there's also the opposite. You cut an amazing trailer, and it's a terrible movie. Is this that? I don't think this is going to be the greatest movie ever. I don't think this is Shakespeare. But it seems okay. I mean, they shot it in Hawaii. Little known secret, like a lot of times they just shoot these movies in Hawaii so the stars can get a free trip to Hawaii. Although some of it's probably not shot in Hawaii. Some of it's probably shot in a soundstage in LA. John Travolta versus... That's Steven Dorff, Bruce Willis. It really feels more like John Travolta versus Steven Dorff and Bruce Willis. But, that's the way they're promoting it. I can understand that. Here, he says, what took you guys so long? Something like that. In. Blam, 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 blam. Look out, blam, blam, look out. Ah. And they even got this, cage fight. See, I don't know what this is. Who's this? I think this is Jenner. Is this Jenner? I think it is. I mean, there's a lot of scenes. Here he is jumping out a window. Probably lands in the pool. I mean, it looks fine. Here's all the beautiful girls. I'm not seeing the downside here, other than it might be stupid. But cut in enough action, cut in enough beautiful women, and, a little bit of John Travolta chewing the scenery, but not too much. I think I'm okay with this. I think I'd watch this. Now, this feels like a direct-to-streaming movie, but it might get some release, in regular theaters. Do you have a date on this? No, we don't have a date on it, but... now, if this movie did have troubles, as some of you have claimed, and I think some of the buzz has claimed, then maybe January, February is a good place for it. Because it's maybe not going to be that good, but it might be watchable enough, and because of the name recognition, people go, I'll go out to see it. For old time's sake, I'll go see one of Bruce Willis's last movies. I'm surprised they don't promote it that way. And then, and John Travolta, not that it's going to be his last movie, but, and even Steven Dorff. I could see people going out for it. If there's nothing up against it, that's of any consequence. So, did I do the 3-act breakdown? First act, he's after the guy. Second act, He's after Travolta. Second act, I don't know. He goes to Hawaii and has a confrontation with Travolta. Travolta turns his goons on him or whatever, or tries to drive him away. It backfires. One of them's probably captured, like Bruce Willis is probably captured. The other guys have to save him. It's a whole back and forth with the second act, and it just keeps escalating until finally the third act, they're just trying to kill each other. And then finally, the last scene is that confrontation on the beach that's in the trailer, where Travolta holds a kid hostage and Bruce Willis has to shoot him without hitting the kid. They beat Travolta at the end. So this Travolta probably dies. Although maybe not, because I think one of you is saying that there's going to be 2 other sequels to this movie. Maybe Bruce Willis sacrifices himself to save his friends. I don't know. I'm not seeing that in this, but possible. But either way, like, Travolta goes down. Steven Dorff and Chris Jenner, or I forget his name, Jenner, save the day. Bruce Willis saves the day too, and there's a big luau at the end. All right. Oh, excuse me. That's it for me. Tony D, Little Joan, and my guest dog, my brother's dog, and my sister-in-law's dog, Truffle. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. We're going to have a news blast and a Piney podcast. And don't forget to check out the live stream. It was pretty epic today. And thank you, and we'll see you on Monday.